The closing gong there live from the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, bringing to an end trading for the first working day of the week. The management of Union Bank did the honors of ringing the closing gong this Monday. Well, as usual, business editor Effiong Ekop will join us in the course of the show for more incisive analysis on today's proceedings at the Nigerian stock market. Earlier, I gave us a figure of the market being down, but we expect to know actually how the market closed, positively and of course or negatively, whichever way we would know before we end the program. Welcome to Business Nigeria. I am Tolulokpe Ogunjobi. A warm welcome to you again. Now, the management of the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company has cautioned banks and other related institutions to verify electricity bills tender for opening account purposes. Head of Communications Emeka Eze says staff of the EEDC, whose name and phone numbers appear on the electricity bills for ease of customer engagement, are embarrassed as a result of consumers' fraudulent activities. Is the appeal to banks to caution and ensure that they carry out extensive checks and verifications of any EEDC electricity tender bills of account opening purposes. Well, Dango Cement has maintained its dominance in the Nigerian domestic cement market with 65% of the total market volume. According to the results from the 9 months ended September the 30th, 2017, the plant has doubled the size of the cement factory in the cement sector, in the country. Chief Executive Officer Dango Cement, One van der Werje, says Pan-African operations are performing strongly with excellent sales growth in Cameroon, Ethiopia, and Senegal. The company attributes the increase in sales to strong brand recognition, increased points of sale branding, improvements in sales and marketing strategies to higher visibility through trade shows. And the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, has cautioned steel manufacturers against deviating from the approved standards for steel production in the country. The Director General Osita Aboloma notes that steel manufacturers whose production falls short of the minimum requirements of the Nigerian industrial standards would be prosecuted and the factories shut down indefinitely. Aboloma issued the directive when he met with steel manufacturers and expressed concerns over non-compliance to industry standards. He noted that steps are underway to harmonize standards for steel production in West Africa, saying that harmonization will avail steel manufacturers the required standards to produce and export to different countries in the sub-region.
We basically call them together today to let them know that we are not happy with what is going on. That the activities, they are unwholesome activities, borders around the safety and well-being of Nigerians. And it's a drain to our economy. That we will no longer tolerate such sharp practices. That will not only will we find them or close them, that we will also prosecute them. Some of the product has been placed on hold. Some of them, they are going to recall and melt the substandard iron bars under the supervision of SON. So we decided to shut down about 4 out of 7 of the steel factories that we visited.
And now the federal government is targeting $150 billion extra earnings from non-oil exports as part of the country's zero oil plan. The Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Olusegun Awolowo, said the target can be achieved by increasing domestic production for exports to all parts of the world. Awolowo said this ZOP will also ensure increase in productive and export activities that will earn the country, that's Nigeria, 500,000 additional jobs annually. Nigeria is seeking to replace oil as a major source of revenue and foreign exchange earner by improving non-oil exports from the current $5 billion to $30 billion by the year 2025. Well, to put this in perspective, I have the Director General of Abuja Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Chijioke Ekechukwu. Thank you very much for joining us from our Abuja studios. DG.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
DG, good to have you. Let's look at the non-oil sector in Nigeria and the projection by the federal government targeting $150 billion US. First, what's your assessment with moves made by government to diversify? Because for us to achieve this, we must diversify. What do you make of what we have on ground?
Yeah, for any country that really wants to remain healthy economically, there has to be this interaction with other sectors of the economy. We have been with oil for many years, and the fact that we already had this monoproduct for so many years led us into some of the financial crises we've had in the past. Having seen that, all the efforts are gearing towards getting us out of the troubles we've had in the past. The federal government is doing a whole lot to grow the non-oil sector through the incentives being handed over to small and medium enterprises. And having done this, we see a whole lot of those incentives, the effect of those incentives driving out in terms of growing our non-oil exports. We have seen a lot of that happening in agriculture. A lot of people have gone into exportation of many agricultural cash crops that many of us do not know about. And we could see the figures rising up in terms of statistics, knowing that we have had a growth of non-oil exports, of course, non-oil production sector of about 0.45%. And if we continue like that, what is going to happen in the macroeconomic point of view is that our balance of payment is gradually going to be getting better, more favorable this time. And if our balance of payment is getting favorable, we're going to be having more funds in our foreign reserves. We're also going to be having a good value for the value of Naira. And, you know, but by the time we have more exports, we're also going to have more money going into the investor-exporter FS window that we have. That means enough is going to be available for importation, also for people who are also doing importation. Don't forget that when this thing happens, a lot of jobs are going to be created. And if jobs are created, more and more inventions and innovations are going to come out. And so I think it is a possible thing that can be achieved. But for us to achieve this, we need to do more of information gathering and information. Most of these exporters don't have enough information on what the Nigeria Export Promotion Council needs to do for them. They don't have any information on which countries that would demand what products that they are selling and what conditions these countries have concerning certain products. Indeed. They don't have information concerning what standards these products are supposed to have before they are exported. They don't have information on so many other things that they need to have information on. They don't even have information on what government has for them in terms of incentives, in terms of creating avenues for them to export these products. So we need to do more on information given to the entire country in order for people to know what they have.
All right, DG, very importantly there, you talked about information, but that's the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. And it brings me, I just got to remember the issue of AGOA. That's the Africa's Growth and Opportunities Act, which Nigeria has actually not taken advantage of. A lot can be gotten from this, or a lot of benefits will come from this if our exporters could take advantage of this AGOA, which many African countries have done. There's the Africans Growth and Opportunities Act. Why are we lagging behind when it comes to that? It's an opportunity that is opened duty-free lots of goods and services can be exported outside Nigeria.
Again, you also wonder why most of the grants given by many countries or many international venture capitalists or many institutions internationally, many grants are in the air waiting for who to have them. Sometimes all we need to do is just to put our own match it and take it. The same problem is what we have locally, where certain states are supposed to have a matching grant, and then all they need to do is to contribute 50% of it, and then they will get 100%. People appear not to show interest. But like I said, again, it may just be a matter of not having enough information, and the people who are responsible not having that commitment to ensure that these things are done. Otherwise, the benefits are there. Many African countries, many countries are actually benefiting from all this, but I don't understand why some of these things, maybe it also has to do with somebody not taking full responsibility. And if he does not take responsibility, he doesn't get punished. He doesn't get a disciplinary measure. There's no disciplinary measure against the person. Again, that is part of the problems of the country. People don't get punished for things they haven't done, and they get benefits for even doing nothing. So part of the problems we're encountering in the country.
Now, DG, actualizing the non-oil or the growth of the non-oil sector also has issues surrounding infrastructure, which is what can make us actually make us actualize this plan and all of these targets. We still have challenges with roads, power, and all of that. How do we grow our small businesses with these challenges when they still persist?
I agree completely that infrastructure is a major problem. In all the various fora, I actually have refused to talk about power. That is almost a song that we sing every day. So if I even put that aside, we also have issues concerning infrastructure of transportation, which again we don't have, we can't claim to have. Talking about roads and railway and the hub that we used to be in both the shipping and the air services, we no longer have them. Those infrastructural deficiencies are there. But if we're able to achieve what we have achieved with these deficiencies, that means if the government and in fact indeed the private sector if they add to the infrastructural deficit or improve on them, we are expected to have an improvement in what we're doing. But I can tell you these infrastructural deficits are there, and they are actually inhibiting the potentials that we have and the propensity to do more that we also have. So that is why the government and all the stakeholders must do everything to look at all the infrastructural deficiencies that we have that are actually affecting our export products and exportation sector, to make sure that we get it right. And of course, when we get it right, other sectors are going to improve, considering that. We also need to improve our services at the various wharves. The seaports and the services of customs must also improve, because we've had, at the Chamber of Commerce, we've had complaints from some of our members who are exporters saying that they are being frustrated somewhere around the seaports and things like that. We need to get that right, making sure that if government is putting a lot of palliatives and incentives in place, various parastatals of government should not also frustrate the efforts made by government agencies. So that we should do in order for us to have an all-encompassing effort to grow all our exports and to grow the economy.
Now, almost finally now, DG, I saw you at the Nigerian Economic Summit, the just concluded summit, and so many valid points you made there, talking about yes, productivity and employment, which was the thrust of the event, are all around actualizing the economic recovery and growth plan. The manufacturing, the industrial sectors, these are sectors that could create tons and thousands of jobs. Are they faring? You deal directly with some of these manufacturers. Tell us what is happening. The figures are still not very impressive.
Yeah, you agree with me that Rome was not built in a day. The figures are looking up gradually. You know that the Purchasing Managers Index kept growing from less than 50 some 2 years ago to 50 and to 54 today. What that means is that there is so much growth in the manufacturing sector, and we can see that from the statistics being given to us, shown by the PMI. What that shows is that there is good health in the manufacturing sector, but that does not mean that all the issues, all the problems being mentioned at the summit are still not there. They are there, but somewhere along the line, people are incurring more costs. But you see, if we are manufacturing at a higher cost and the borders are open for importation of goods and services, the imported goods are actually going to outcompete the ones manufactured locally. So as we are growing our manufacturing sector, there should be policies, government policies, to ensure that we protect the ones we are manufacturing locally, so that the ones that are competitively coming in at cheaper rates will not push the market, the products out of the market again. So far, we are going gradually well. But whether we are growing at the rate we want to grow is a different topic altogether. We need to grow at a faster rate. Our rate of growth is still very marginal and not very, very encouraging. But like I said, it is better to be moving forward, actually, than to be static and to be going backwards. But right now, you can agree with me that we are going gradually forward. And so what we need to do, the last summit was actually meant to identify those inhibitions to the growth of the economy. Are there those inhibitions that we can see in the entire system? And we identified all of them, and those are the decisions that will be taken in order for the country and the economy to grow at the rate we want it to grow. Thank you very much.
All right, DG there, Chijioke Ikechukwu, DG Abuja Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Thank you very much for insights into growing the non-oil sector, the challenges, and all of that. Thank you for joining us on Business Nigeria.
Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, let's take a break now, and we'll be back with more on the show. Please wait, we have more for you. Glad to have you back on the show. Now, we cross now to the stock market, where TVC News business editor Effiong Ekop joins us live. Hello, Ekop.
Hello, Selu. Good afternoon. The market ended about 20 minutes ago in the negative territory. Indeed, it got down 0.48%. You know, for a Monday like this, it shows you can predict what the week, portends. It is that investors, they are holding back. Fund managers, they are studying the market. I have a stockbroker here, and he's to take us through his experience on the trading floor. I'm talking about Samson Amedu from Alan Grange Securities. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
The index responded to low trade, down 0.48%. How do you feel that happening on a Monday, beginning a week?
Well, being a new week, it's expected that a lot of activity will have occurred, leading to a positive activity. But as you can see, if you look at the gainers and the losers for today, the major gainers are the likes of International Brewery, Resta, UAC, and the like. But the major losers, even though the top 4 or top 5 comprise of mainly small cap stocks, that's low capitalization stocks, but if you look at the high cap stocks that lost, they were really responsible for pulling down the market. And this includes the likes of Nigerian breweries, the likes of Guinness, we see WAPCO, Presco, NASCOM, and a couple of others. So any day, in any trading day where some of the high cap stocks, particularly the heavy ones, the index movers, there is a lot of losses across them. Certainly the market will go.
But what would we give as explanation, bringing a basket of heavily capped stock, to the gainers charts?
Well, don't forget that if you look at the market, aside from the fact that these companies, their results are quite impressive, don't forget that this time of the year, or this time of the year in the market, is always a low period, in the sense that there are no major events occurring in terms of earnings declaration. Most of the companies have already declared, the earnings season has already passed. So what we're having now is like the third quarter results going up to the fourth quarter results. So with that, there is no major declaration aside from the results that are coming out.
Okay, let's quickly look at Wando that is now in full technical suspension. The stock will not trade up or down. What does it mean for buyers and sellers of that?
Okay, when a stock is on technical suspension, to a large extent, it protects even the investors. If the stock is not on technical suspension, there will be serious run, particularly where there's a negative event happening to that company, negative news, negative information. There will be a run on the price. But as it is, if the stock is on technical suspension, it can neither go up or go down. So trades will still be done at the present price of 5 naira.
So the action of the Securities and Exchange
Commission,
the action
of the Securities and Exchange
to
Commission
protect investors
is good. It's in order.
Okay,
it's in order.
Doctor,
including stock exchanges.
We don't have time. Thank you very much for talking to us
so
this hour. Been speaking with Samson Amedu. He is the chief dealer at Alan Grange Securities, and we are talking about market close for Monday, beginning the week in the negative territories. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Effiong, thank you. Well, market closing down by 0.48%. Well, very interesting one there that the Securities and Exchange Commission is protecting the interest of investors. That's a good one for investors to know. Thank you very much, Effiong Eko, business editor there, live from the Nigerian stock market.
It's a pleasure.
Well, finally, crude oil prices at international markets stayed stable this Monday following supply concerns in the Middle East and declining in the U.S. drilling activities. At the London market, the Brent crude trades low at $57 per barrel. But for the OPEC basket brand, price drops to $55 per barrel. But that's a wrap on the show today. Join us tomorrow, God willing, for another incisive and educating analysis and, of course, discussion on topical issues. I leave you with the figures of the exchange rate as it stands today. On behalf of the entire production crew, I must thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.